lot of entrepreneurs find that there's a time after building their business for a while that they plateau out, right? They reach this plateau and that's it. They can't grow any further. And the reason is entrepreneurs typically have a problem doing two things. Okay. One is finding good partners. And I'll explain why in just a moment. And raising finance, raising cash to propel the growth of their business. One is scale their business for growth. And the other is finance using financial leverage. Let's take scaling first. All right. A lot of times people will start to grow a business. They have a certain skill set. They know how to do it. It's all in their head. They roll up their sleeves and they take on everything. And little by little, they replace themselves in certain capacities so that they're expanding their ability of their business to handle more and more sales. But because the act of scaling a business is not something that everyone knows real well, they reach a point where they don't know how to do that anymore. And they guard closely the decisions that they make, and they don't delegate the authority for other people to make decisions. And as a result, they become their own obstacles to growth. So that's one reason entrepreneurs don't grow a business. But the second reason is the lack of financial know-how, the lack of an ability to understand the propellant of external growth to grow your business. For example, if I'm growing my business and I don't have certain talent in my business, I got two ways I can get that talent, right? One way is I can go out and recruit it. It's expensive. I got to pay a headhunter or somebody to get me the superstar that I need to grow my business. And then I got to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 months for them to learn my business, grow into the place that I've recruited them for, understand my company well enough to excel at the things I need them for. And now they're helping me grow my business. That's one way to do it. Now I got to pay their salary and I got to pay it out of my existing income. And then as they help me grow, hopefully the growth pays for their salary. Well, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, which is the way I do it, is I find a company that's a competitor of mine or a complementary product or service type company that has the talent already in it that I want. And I'll go out and use financial leverage to buy that company. In other words, I'll use that company's assets and cash flow to generate cash that's needed to buy the company. Now I own the company that has the talent and I integrate that company into my operations. So I do the whole process, not with my money, not with the cost of my company, but I do that addition of that talent through the acquisition of another company that fully pays for itself and then leaves me with a whole new profit center added to the addition to the fact that they brought me the talent. So it's a different mindset. It's a different perspective on how you do things. It's an ability to get outside the box, right? Outside the box and start to think of how do I get this problem solved without having to manually muscle the solution internally with limited resources. When you can get outside the box, be creative and innovative and think of how to solve it with much less effort in much faster time with much less resources. In order to get good partners, you have to do a good deal of analysis of what are you looking for in a partner. First of all, do you want a silent partner who provides capital resources? Or do you want an active partner who is going to bring talent and expertise to your company to be able to support your efforts in building the company, who's going to be able to round out your organization's know-how and capabilities, contacts and resources by their past experience and their past ability to grow companies that you can see their track record. Then the second thing you have to do is get rid of a little bit of your ego and realize that if you're going to have a true partner, they're going to want something to say about the running of the business. And so that means that you have to build with them a basis of like, trust, and respect. Because if you guys don't like, trust, and respect each other, you're going to find it's kind of hard to work with somebody. And then you have to get out of each other's lane. In other words, if you're in their lane, they're going to resent it. And if they're in your lane, you're going to resent it. And so the best partnerships tend to work in a model that I call inside and outside. You have an inside person, they're responsible for the running of the internals of the business. And then you have the outside partner, they're responsible for getting out and building and bringing sales and resources back into the business. So you got an operating partner and you got a marketing and a sales partner. Okay, now they don't get into each other's lane, they support each other perfectly. And if they like, trust, and respect each other, that's the essence of a beautiful partnering formula. So partnering requires a great deal of analysis of why do you want to partner? What do you need them for? How are you going to operate with them? And how is it going to work that you guys work together in order to get the results that both of you see? The other side of this is how do you raise money, right? How do you raise money? Well, you raise money when you can show the folks who have the money why the money is better placed with you than it is in other options that they have for the placement of that money. And there's a formula by which you do that. There's a structure by which you present it to them so that they can see what your company does, what its future is, what money is it that you need? How is that money going to be invested in the company? How is it going to be used? And how is that use within the company going to grow the company, produce results? And how from that results are you going to reward them? So when you put all of those pieces in place, now it's a marketplace out there. There are people who have money. You got to find them. You got to identify them. You got to contact them. You got to get through their gatekeeper. You got to get to where they'll listen to you. And then once you're in a place where they'll listen to you and you have the proper tools, the proper loan presentation or loan package, as we call it, or investor package, and all the right pieces are in place that show your credibility, your capabilities, your integrity, the track record that you bring to this, the wonderful business that you're in, the wonderful place it occupies in the market that you're in, the growth curve that's in front of you, both as an industry and as an individual company within that industry, all properly presented in an outline that shows them what their win is when they invest in you or loan you the money. You just got to have it all together and it's got to be professionally presented. Now, there are folks out there that can help you do that. There are intermediaries who know where the money is and can help you get to those folks. There's going to be a cost for that. So you have to be prepared to find those people and pay them, but they want to earn that money. So they're visible out there. You can find them. So anything you want to do, anything you're going to want to do, there's somebody out there that already knows how to do it and can help you with it. And one of the things we have done here at National Diversified Funding Corporation over the last 50 plus years is pull together all of those resources, external and internal, that it takes to take a business, identify its potential, and package it for funding. And that's where we excel in getting people the money that they need to operate and grow their company.